Hello YouTube, welcome to Sunday in the Shop. It's a Saturday morning. It is cold out. Weather report, about 45 degrees. It stayed kind of warm overnight last night. It did not frost or freeze. So, wasn't too much to keep it warm in here. You're going to be hearing the heater, a little heater blowing down there, but we're going to teach you how to countersink a bolt, okay? This plate is 3/16 of an inch thick. This is how we did this one, okay? Stick it all the way. What we did was, we drilled the hole for the bolt, okay? We ground this down so this head is 3/32, which is half of 3/16. Don't lose no bolts on the floor. It might be a little more. Sorry if it gets blurry. We're cramped and we can't get away from ourselves enough. There might be better. So it's a little bit too much. What we did was we took our 3/8 bit, right, which is beveled. Then we took a diamond bit and the rotary tool and flattened this out, okay? Now the best thing to do is if you find the flat-headed screws, excuse me, you know how wood screws angled on the head? That's called like a flathead screw. If you can find them, they were the best. I just haven't went and looked at any in those big box stores. So you'd have a natural bevel there, which would make it easier. So this is the hard way, but it works. It's mild steel. Hold on a second. Okay, we're cutting out our piece of metal. This is going to be 4.5, 5 too big. Okay, that's an inch wide. So we got our ruler down here, right? This should measure 3.5. I'm about a 32nd over and about the same down here. You really have a little bit wider because you can always take it to the disc or belt sander. So you see what I mean? Means that's an inch wide rule. See? And then plus we got our little square. We don't have a big square because we sacrificed the blade is what we're cutting along. Always make it a little bigger, like a 32nd or 16th. I'd rather sand it down and make it perfectly square than cut it too small. So we're gonna go to the vise. We're gonna go. You're gonna go with, no. I'm not taking you out in the cold. We'll clamp it like this in the vise because we're sawing out here. We've been learning to cut down in the vise instead of laying this down and trying to take the grinder and cut with the cutting disc. I can't believe I've done that before. I stand this up in the vise, right, and clamp it like this, so I'm going down the line. You can see what you're doing better instead of humped over, spark flying on your arm. So, just another tip, do it the way you want to do it. I clamp mine in the vise vertical and draw the line down. And don't try to cut all the way through it. Just keep making a line. Your cutter disc will last longer. I've cut many pieces with the same blade this project season. Just keep making lines, And when you get enough groove, take this off and throw it out of your way. Because you're just going to keep trying to cut into this. So, make enough groove to where you can throw this away. The same thing as I show you when I'm using my little Dremel disc cutoffs. This is just to get your line started, to get the groove in the metal. Otherwise, you're just cutting this all up. You can see where I messed it up. Look up here by the clamp. See it? See, that's from going too long and it just starts grabbing it. Okay, back to work. Okay, we can focus. We'll show you our scraps that's left over. We could probably get about, that's 4.5 and about 3. We could probably get a piece that's like 3 by 4.5 twice. Plus leave you some triangle pieces out here. So we did it this corner was square. That's why we went from there. This is all just junk metal, but still there's a lot of leftovers. So just so you see it. We're going to clean this up, some flapper disc, take it to the belt sander. We'll be back when it's all nice and clean. Okay, here's our piece of metal. We sanded in a crosshatch pattern after we did the grinding disc, because it kind of makes it look nice, because you're not going to get rid of all that dark staining in there. It's a tool. You're not going to get rid of that. That kind of looks good. You'll see it on my other one. Okay, you want to know how square you are? Okay. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, this thing is 1/32 wider here. See this outside circle, how it almost catches it? It barely doesn't catch it down there or up here. And it's shorter this way, because I came in and measured with another circle, then took my ruler and measured, you know, out. Now I'm not going to readjust my mark. You see where you make your diagonal, okay? Always measure diagonally. It should be the same measurement, this diagonal with that diagonal. So it's not a machine shop, but we're just being picky. But the shortest side, this seems to be more even here to here, you know, from there to there to there. Comes a little short, we'll put that at the back. And we have to grind that clamp to get this to fit in there. That's why I went 4.5 instead of 5, because we want to fit in the back of the clamp. Can we get this clamp loose to show you? Sure we can. Sunday in the shop. Okay. See that? We have to grind this out square. Because we want this exactly in the center. And we're going to drill from the back first, so we don't make no defects or nothing. But we're just being picky. We want to mow our yard today. We're waiting. We're just killing time. It's like 15 after a quarter. No, people don't know how to tell time when you say that. It's a quarter after 1. What time is it? Old school with a clock with hands on it, non-digital. Yeah, I got one of them. My center punch has been acting up. There's a video out there to get in there and modify that to help it fire better. And I did put it in my like videos. You'll never find it. Somebody commented on that when I made my video thanking me. I tell them there's another video out there. There's a little bit of a mod to make that fire better, because mine's been acting up. So I'm yakking, I like just showing this here. Like I said, it just comes up more shorter on that side with the big circle. You're not going to keep your hands clean. When I started this morning, my hands were clean. You take your gloves on and off. I wear these when I grind. This thing was scuzzy. Did I show it before I cut it? I think I showed the piece of metal. Dirty, greasy, right out of the junkyard. Yeah, I like that crosshatch pattern. Looks like a cylinder wall. It kind of hides all the crap there. Only bad word I usually say. Like I said, it's a tool. I suppose I could show you what I mean by this hits. Find the short edge. This is going to be a long video. See, it hits. We'll try to find the center. Boy, be careful of this stuff. These edges are sharp. They've been sanded. They have not been chamfered. You will cut yourself like a knife. See that? By the time I grind that back, and even if you have to notch, if you really want to be picky, you want this to come down exactly on the center. Oh, and leveling this. Let me get down here. You may have to do a little work on this. You may hit like back in here. Get this level first, then work your way back. See, watch it go uphill. See it? If you got a gap there, I thought about maybe putting a shim in there. I might have said that a while ago. Maybe I didn't. We're going to try to use a nice bigger bolt, 1/4 inch. But this ain't very wide. Use them bad words like 8. We'll see when we cut this down. Did you watch my other ones? I cut back to the center and cut up, take a notch out. You won't see this painted today. You're lucky if you see me do this part, because the whole idea today is to show you how to countersink the screw in here. I should have showed you with one of the other ones, but you get the basic idea. How to grind some off this. I would never drill more than halfway through because you're making this pretty weak. 3/16. Well, you're not going to blast it. You're not going to pound on this with a sledgehammer. Yeah, that's just nasty. 36 grit to get the mill scale off. Well, we talked about that enough. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go outside and see how warm it looks to see whether I can start mowing. I've got leaves all over. I do not rake my leaves. I mow them and mulch them. I'll mow in to chop them up, and then I'll go back through the yard again with the rider, being I ain't walking, and I'll just say this is yard, right? I mow in, mow the leaves in the center, and I'll go down the middle and I'll mow them out, right? And I'll turn around, and my mower blows out the driver's side. So I'll come back down and blow the leaves off, turn around, blow the leaves off, and I'll keep doing that until I widen it. So I keep mowing from the center out. I'll blow the leaves out this way and this way in the main part of my yard. So they're all blowed back to the edge. But first I mow them in to mulch them. Right? You know what I mean? Is it clear? Are you all confused? I think you know what I'm talking about. I should show you before and after before I mow. But you've all seen a yard full of leaves. Okay. We'll be using the Alice Chalmers though. With the hydrostatic. Oh, batteries. See? Battery symbols flashing because I talked too long. Okay, turn my camera on after changing the battery. It wants me to set the date and time. I skipped it. You tell me. It's a Canon. I'll give you the numbers someday on it. See why I like these bits? I took the big 3/8. See how aggressive they are, carbide? They make a weird like a triangle hole, but they really cut. Focus. See that? See how they really cut and dig in, how they're made right there? There, now you can see it. Yeah, that's weird. I haven't set the date in this camera for a long time, and I don't care what it's set to. It does not matter. Okay. We're going to drill the hole for the bolt, which should be a 1/4 inch, and then we'll be right back. Okay, the closest bit we can come to is a 3/8, because this is like a 32nd less than 3/8. We don't have no numbered or letter bits, so we're going to go with 3/8. Tell you what, we're going to go with 5/16 first. Just for the fun of it. So we'll be right back. We're going to go like halfway through with a 5/16 bit. Don't want to confuse you. We're gonna see how close 5/16 is. Okay, trust me, we're about halfway through. We get this focus. We're gonna have to go with a 3/8. We don't want to grind this bolt down. Said I don't have no in between bits with the 64th and everything. Let me get my finger in here. I think we'll agree that's about halfway. So we're going to get the 3/8 bit out and carefully do it. Don't get in a big hurry with this. I mean, if I wanted to stake all day, I could sit and Dremel that out bigger, but it's not that important. We'll be right back. Okay, we jump close and personal here. Not quite halfway. We just don't want to go any further because we're actually, don't let that fall on the floor, whatever we do. There, remember that bit's beveled. I'm sure you can tell that's beveled as the hole goes there. Now you can set Dremel that flat if you want to. Do this at your own risk. I thought about taking a bolt and beveling it like this. So I'm going to try that. Okay, I'm going to put it in my drill and then file it. I wear goggles, I do that stuff. And see if we can put a little bevel in the screw. But before we do, we're going to take our ruler and measure it. We'll see how far it's in there with our ruler. And like I said, this ruler measures 30 seconds. I don't know why it's backwards. Why wouldn't it measure 64ths down here? See where it's 30 seconds in? It's finer here. It's a nice ruler for a cheap one, though. I lost my machinist one, so I had to buy this at a hobby store. That's what we're working with, people. You know, we might go millimeters. You know, people forget that. Millimeters is easier to work with sometimes than fractions. We'll see what this is in millimeters, and we'll see how deep that is. We'll try it that way. We'll be back. Okay, this is 6 millimeters, and everything's magnetic. This down to here is only about 2.5 millimeters, or maybe down in here somewhere. Depends on how you stick this in here. And I'm trying that thumbnail thing. I need a depth micrometer. It's not a machine shop. So we're going to bevel that a little bit. So like I said, do that at your own risk. At least want to show you, we're not quite halfway. Like I said, we don't want to run out of hole to get the Allen wrench in there. If it was a other kind of screw, it wouldn't really matter. Like a straight bladed screw, you could just make the slot deeper. You know what I mean. Okay, hope we're not in the shadows. We're not filing that, it's too hard. We did find another screw, come over in the light, well that's a little deeper. A little more centered. Well, I couldn't have picked a worse one than that. Look how bad that is. I picked that. Throw that away. Throw it over there in the corner. We're going to start grinding this down and see what happens. So we'll be back to show you. Worst comes to worst, we're going to put a slot in and put a big screwdriver in it. Because this is the bolt we want to use. We're determined. No one's going to stop me. Now, we measured that hole again. We are maybe a little over halfway through. We're not taking any more metal out of that. So this isn't going to hold a whole lot of weight. If you're really going to clamp something, like I said earlier, clamp this down tight before you clamp something on the table and start using it. Common sense, right? We'll be back. We're gonna get this. You're learning with me at the same time. Because I could have just grabbed one of them other screws and made like the other one. We wanted something a little bit different today. Okay, here's our decision. We've decided there will be nothing left when we grind that flush, okay? This is the reason why we want to use this with a 1/4-inch bolt for that nut instead of a regular 1/4-inch bolt with a head like this. We'd have to really make the bolt head smaller, right? And there's not a lot to it, so it wouldn't be too much taking half that off, right? But these are cheap little bolts. This is what we're going to do. We're going to grind this down flush. We're going to put a slot in with a screwdriver. Because there's plenty of screwdriver to put a slot in. That's what we're going to do. We'll be back when this is done. And then hopefully the video will be done. This is going to be a long video today. Well, we did it. We made a screw. Grinding and sanding and Dremel cutter blade and put a slot in there. It's not perfect, but it's below the surface. This is a good way to tell. Take a straight edge. I caught the slot there a little bit, but that's how you do it. Thank you for watching this week. I think this video has been long enough. Plus, I went out and mowed the yard in between making it, so it's taken longer to make the video than actually the work that I've done. So thanks for watching. See you next time.